You don't really know much about Halloween.
Hello and welcome back to another unboxing video. I am your host Joel. I am one half of the Newlydeads along with my wife Laura. If you'd like to know more about us and what we do, please go to our website at thenewlydeads.com to find our blogs, our links to our YouTube page, which if you're watching this video, you've already found us, where we do sinister snack videos, unboxings, obviously. We have our half an hour talk show called Dollar Store Drive-In. We have the original episodes that we're starting from episode 1. And we're putting them back out so you can see them since they are currently, the new episodes are being aired on these 4 networks. I'll put those up here now so you can see those. That is a show where we find a movie at the Dollar Tree, Goodwill, various other places of that type, and we review it for you. So go check that out. You can go to those stations to find out when it's available. You can also go to our Facebook page where I update that every week to let you know what is happening and when. So that is readily available to you. If you have questions, you can reach us there or contact at thenewlydeads.com. We'd be happy to answer any questions, comments, concerns you may have. So this box is from the RAD sale that they had at Vinegar Syndrome. And I've been sitting on this for a while, so that sale happened a bit ago. So this stuff may be a little bit older than some of the other content that I do on this page, but the videos are still something that, I wanted to make sure and talk about. You see that critter walking around in the background? That's Shaggy. That's one of our 2 dogs that we have. He likes to kind of poke around whenever I'm recording. So anyway, the first thing we have is Scream Queen, which is the documentary about Mark Patton and his experiences with A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, as well as his career. It's a great documentary. On the back, you've got the special features and images from that. This is from 2019. The full title is Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street. So this is a retrospective look at Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 and the life of its lead actor, Mark Patton. This was directed by Roman Simonetti, who this is all they've done so far, and Tyler Jensen, who did Matricia, Favorite Ghost, and Saint Drogo, which don't know what those are about, but if it's anything like this documentary, I'm definitely going to have to check those out. So Mark Patton, who's the lead, was in Swallowed and Amityville Clown House, as well as a bunch of other films, which if you are familiar with the Dollar Store Drive-In, then you've heard us talk about Amityville films a lot. So a little bit of trivia. This film currently has a 100% rating based on 45 critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and an 88% audience score. So inside you have on the disc, you have the original cover, which here, that's maybe a better view of it. If you've seen the film, you're familiar with that shot. You also have on the other side, whoops, I should have taken that out. So you could flip this around if you'd rather have that cover instead. And you have a little small booklet here that just covers some of the stuff about the film. It's not very big or in-depth, but it's, a nice little companion piece to have. So it doesn't take too much time to read if you have a little extra time. Definitely something to check out. And I've already seen this, and I'm a fan of Mark Patton, so I had to include it as part of the collection. Next up, we have Karate Contra Mafia from 1981. This is about a Hong Kong sailor, Lei Chow, finds himself wrongfully suspected in a fishy diamond trade, wanted by the police, harassed by a local godfather, and his hooded henchman, Lei Chow, left to fight for his life and prove his innocence. This is directed by Ramon Saldias, who also did a film called El Camino Dorado. This stars Augustin Dennis, and this was their only role. So on the back here, you've got a shot from the film and some information like the special features and whatnot. Inside, you have a image. Oh, there you go. And nothing too fancy. This is, I forget which of the sub-labels had put this out, and I can't see with my glasses off, so I'll maybe put it up here for you. Next up, we have A Gun for Jennifer. Let me get rid of that. All right, there we go. Oh, that's a little risque, but it's not too bad. So this is about a woman who comes to New York from Ohio to escape an abusive husband and gets entangled with murderous female vigilantes who prey on abusive men. This was directed by Todd Morris, who did Molotov Samba. Interesting. And stars Deborah Twiss, who was in The Defenders, the Marvel series, and Kick-Ass, the Matthew Vaughn, Aaron Taylor Johnson superhero movie. There's two of those, actually. A little bit of trivia. This is Deborah Twiss's debut film. So inside, you have the same cover there on that. You've got the special features and information about the film, as well as stills from that. Inside, you have the cover of the disc there. I don't know if you can really see that. I may have to negate showing you the interior because it's a little questionable, so we're going to leave that out. So here you've got a poster that is the same as the cover, and you have, again, a nice little booklet that covers, information about the film. And I like female empowerment movies and revenge movies, so I've heard a lot of good things about this. So it was something that I really wanted to check out. I've not seen it before. Actually, looking at the stack over here, I don't think I've seen. I forgot to put those back in there. I've only seen one of the films here, I believe, but we'll get to that when the time comes. So let me struggle to get this back into the case. That's a tight fit. That's good, though. That means you've got a lot of extra stuff there to check out at a later date. I don't like these particular types of cases just because they have a tendency to damage the plastic casing. Next up, we have Psycho Paul's Film Festival from 1990. This is about a bloody, sadistically funny satire of cheap horror exploitation films. Psycho Paul, a sinister, egotistical filmmaker, introduces previews and scenes from his films and a tribute to himself. This was directed by Paul van der Elzen. This is their only film. And stars Paul van der Elzen, who was in Bloodthirsty Cannibal Demons, which I just mentioned on an episode of Dollar Store Drive-In. The Witching, also mentioned on an episode of Dollar Store Drive-In. And Zombie Bloodbath 2. No trivia on this. There on the back, you've got some stills from the film, as well as the special features and whatnot. Inside, you have a psychotronic-looking image there. And this looks, I believe it's a shot-on-video thing, which if you are familiar with my show, the unboxing stuff that I do, that sounded weird, I'm a fan of shot-on-video. So next up, we've got Homegrown Horrors Volume 2, which I've been waiting a while to pick this up. I already had Volume 1 and Volume 3, and I was waiting for a good deal on this one. Whoops, I have it. There's the front. There's the back. There's the side. So in this, you have three films. You have Hanging Heart, Moonstalker, and Dead Girls. We'll go through those. Moonstalker is from 1989. Dead Girls is from 1990. And Hanging Heart is from 1989. So for Moonstalker, the plot is that during the winter season, a family camping in the woods and a group of camp counselors training in the same forest both find themselves being killed one by one by an unhinged psycho. So for, let's see, that was, I should have wrote my notes out in a more logical way. That was Moonstalker. So Dead Girls, a female band whose exponents of death rock retreat to a cabin for the weekend. They soon find themselves being knocked off by a mass killer who uses weapons they have mentioned in their songs. Interesting. And finally, Hanging Heart. Danny is a struggling actor whose girlfriend's dead body is found in the theater where they have been preparing for the new production. Being one of many suspects, Danny must track down the killer as others around him are found dead one by one. Can he unmask the killer before his own life is turned upside down? You'll have to watch and find out. So the director of Moonstalker is Michael O'Rourke, who did Deadly Love. One of the stars of that film is Blake Gibbons, who was in Night Trap Very Bad Things, and a whole lot of TV. So I did find a little bit of trivia here. Blake Gibbons, who played Bernie, also appeared in season 3 of Dexter, playing a neo-Nazi named Clemson Gate. If you've watched the series, you might know who that is. So Dead Girls was directed by Dennis Devine, who did Camp Blood 8, which I think I have all the Camp Blood movies in one collection, except for the recent 3, as well as Axe Grinder 4 and 5, which I don't have those, but at some point I'll have to pick those up from MakeFlix. This stars Diana Krenikas, who was in Slashdance, and Princess Warrior. A little bit of trivia. This film was loosely inspired by the 1984 suicide of John David McCullum in Riverside, California, which spurred a lawsuit from McCullough's parents against singer Ozzy Osbourne, whose song Suicide Solution they claimed influenced the decision to end his life. Finally, Hanging Hard is directed by Jimmy Lee, who directed Close Call. It stars Barry Wyatt, who was in The Natural History of Parking Lots and Luster. And the only trivia I could find is that it was filmed in 1983, which, not a lot of good trivia on that. It wasn't released until 1989, though, so I guess that's the trivia, as it was a 6-year hiatus. So you take off the little top here. Inside, you have the 3 films. So first off, we have Hanging Heart there. Information about the film on the back. Inside, we have the same cover that you have here on the disc. And then you've got alternate cover art that you can switch out if you are so inclined. Moonstalker, which is the one that I'm most excited to see. There's the cover. On the back, again, you've got information about this. You've got kind of this, you can't see it probably there, but this is kind of a quintessential shot, which I'll put up over here so you can check it out. Inside, the cover is the same as what you've got here, and then you've got the alternate. There it is. There he is. Look at that. How can you not be interested in that guy? Right? Right. Okay. And finally, Dead Girls, which definitely looks like a rock and roll nightmare. On the back, you've got information about the film as well as special features and whatnot. The Blu-ray, of course, is this. And then you've got, we can go with that. The alternate option if you want to flip the covers around, which I know some people are inclined to do. I myself typically will leave it as is. I'm not one to go messing with perfection, so to speak, or messing with Sasquatch. All right. Next up, we have Death Promise, which Mr. Dan from Mr. Dan and Horror, which if you're not familiar with this channel, go check it out, had recommended this one. This is from 1977. This is about an apartment dweller who goes on a search and destroy mission to kill the ruthless landlords who murdered his father. As you do. This is directed by Robert Warmflash. This is all he did. Interesting name. Stars Charles Bonnet, who did several Bruceploitation films, which Severin just released a great Bruceploitation box set, which I did a review on, so go check that out. And I couldn't find any trivia about this, unfortunately, so just going to have to learn as we go. So the disc itself has this on the cover, and then inside you've got an alternate, again, flippable, switchable, changeable cover there. Next up, we have Hollywood Horror House from 1970. I've been eyeballing this for a couple of years now, and I finally pulled the trigger on it. This is about an aging actress living in her Hollywood mansion with a retinue of elderly servants who employs a new mentally disturbed personal assistant who schemes to take over the large estate. This is directed by Donald Wolfe, who did a short film, and that was it. Stars Miriam Hopkins, who was in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from 1931, and Barbary Coast. A little bit of trivia here. When Catherine shows Vic one of her old films, they are watching one of Miriam Hopkins' actual films, Wise Girl from 1937. On the back, we've got special features and whatnot. On the inside, we have 2 discs, actually. We've got the DVD and the Blu-ray, which the Blu-ray has this on the cover. The DVD, let me see if I can show you here, has that, which looks like it has The Savage Intruder, which I believe is an extra film that's included on here. I don't remember. I'll have to look here in just a second. But you've got alternate art there you can flip to. Let me see. It must just be an alternate title. I should have done a little more research on that. But I guess, when you've got the DVD there as well. But I can't tell. It's not real clear on here. And Yep, that was the alternate title. I did find it on there. Thank you for bearing with me. All right, we're getting close to the end here, kids. Hang on. So next up, we've got The Corpse Grinders from Ted V. Michaels, who is kind of an eclectic, what's the word I'm looking for? Acquired taste. So this is from 1971. The plot is when the Lotus Cat Food Company finds itself in financial trouble, the owners decide to find a new, cheap source of meat, the local graveyard. Only one problem, soon cats develop a taste for human flesh, and tabbies are tearing out throats all over town. Like I said, this is directed by Ted V. Michaels, who did The Doll Squad and Mission Kill Fast, which are on the shelf, and The Astro Zombies, which my wife bought me a poster for that, which is hanging on the wall right over there. I showed it on Dollar Store Drive-In. If I still have it, I'll put it up here for you so you can check it out. This stars Sean Kenny, who was in Terminal Island, which is on the shelf, and Savage Abduction. So a little trivia. The film's screenwriter, Joe Cranston, is the father of Breaking Bad star Bryan Cranston. We've got information about the film on the back. Inside, you have the same cover as you have here. And then you've got, again, the same cover, but you can flip it around and use that, which is the original poster, if I'm not mistaken. Next up, we have another film that was featured on the Video Archives podcast with Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avery and Gala Avery. This is Demonoid from 1981, which they are a fan of. So this is about spouses looking for silver in Mexico find a 300-year-old severed hand driven by a demon. This is directed by Alfredo Zacharias, who did The Bees and The Pearl. The stars Samantha Eggar, who was in Dr. Dolittle, The Brood, The Exterminator, and Curtains. Talk about a playlist to end all playlist for a career. That's quite a playlist. Quite a you know what I mean. Did a lot of big films. So trivia: the director got the idea for this film from a conversation with a psychiatrist friend on split personalities. So on the back we've got, hopefully nothing I can't see. And inside we have the DVD and the Blu-ray. Go. And I will, whoops, gotta be more careful when I do this. You have the alternate cover there, which is also on the DVD as well. And I have not seen this one yet, so I have heard lots of things about it. I'm very curious to check it out. And finally, we are at the finish line here. This is the one that I've seen before. It was featured on Tingler Television, which is one of our networks, after our show, actually. This is The Bees from 1978, which Mr. Dan, that I just mentioned before, he and I watched this together and chatted online during the course of the film. So this is about South American killer bees are corporately smuggled into the United States, mutate into intelligent insects, and attacks hopeless people. Young scientists work desperately to end the threat as the menace swarms in cities everywhere. So this is also directed, like I mentioned before, by Alfredo Zacharias, who did The Bandits and a bunch of films in Mexico. The stars John Carradine, which has come up a lot on Dollar Store Drive, and he's kind of almost become the patron saint of the show, who has 354 credits to his name before he passed away. So many great genre films, especially in the 70s and 80s. Too many to mention. Just look him up. You'll be impressed. His whole family, there's a huge Hollywood history in his family. A lot of actors, a lot of his kin and grandkin. I know I said that weird. It just came out. I don't know. So a little bit of trivia. The bees used in the film had their stingers removed as a precautionary measure. So on the back, you've got information about the film. Inside, again, DVD and Blu-ray. Then you have the, I assume, original poster art there. It's very nice. And like I said, I've already seen this. I am excited to watch it again at some point and check out the features. Mr. Dan and I had a good time watching it. So if you have not, check it out. All right, that is it. We are done. Finito. All finished. Thank you for sticking it out this whole time. I do appreciate it. Check out the channel for more unboxing videos yet to come. I've got a box of stuff over there. So I've got at least, I don't know, 5 or 6 more already on the slate that will be done here sometime in the near future. I'm trying to get caught up again, but these are released once a week as I get them edited. And yeah, that is it. So in the immortal words of myself, tomorrow is not guaranteed. So don't forget to unbox your heart. We'll see you next time.
Should be done, you see, between the real and the unreal. The dead might be looking in. Halloween, the festival of Samhain. Happy Halloween.